Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today I'm doing the Are You Like Jane Austen tag. This tag was created by Shelley Swearingen and I was tagged by the lovely Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and I will have both of their videos linked down below. The first prompt is: Jane Austen was an artist and a writer. Give yourself a point if you're an artist. Give yourself an extra point if you're a writer. I definitely don't consider myself to be an artist in the sense of drawing or painting. Like, I enjoy those things. I don't do them super regularly, so I'm not going to give myself a point for that. I am going to give myself a point for writing. I don't write super frequently, but I do write music, and part of the music I write often includes lyrics, and I'm going to count that because it is similar to writing poetry, I think, in a lot of ways. I also have participated in NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month, a few times, and I have won, I think, twice. So I do like to write, even if I don't write maybe as often as I would like to. I definitely do consider myself to be a writer, at least in some fashion. Prompt number 2 is: Austen was born to a large family. She had a total of 7 siblings, 1 sister and 6 brothers. Give yourself a point if you have 3 or more siblings. I'm going to get a point for this. I have 2 brothers and a sister, so I'm kind of right at the lower end of that, but I still get a point. Prompt number 3 is: Austen did not enjoy her formal education. Give yourself a point if you did not care for school. I'm going to give myself half a point for this because maybe it's cheating a little bit, but I am still in school. I am still trying to get my undergraduate degree, and almost every day I wish I wasn't in school. But in the past I have really enjoyed school, and I do enjoy learning, and even still now I sometimes enjoy school, but overall I think I'm just ready to be done with school, so I'm like a little bit over it. Prompt 4 is: dark humor is weaved throughout Austen's writing. Give yourself a point if you have a grim sense of humor. You must share a dark joke in order to get this point. I'm not going to give myself a point for this one. I think I can have a dark sense of humor, but this is actually something I've actively tried to move away from, just because of how my mental health reacts when I do make a lot of dark jokes. So I'm not going to give myself a point for this one. Question number 5 is: Jane broke off 2 engagements and died a spinster. Give yourself a point if you are single. I'm not single, so I do not get a point. Question number 6 is: Austen experienced low periods or spells of depression. Give yourself a point if you have struggled with mental health. Definitely getting a point for this one. I've already mentioned my mental health previously in this video in reference to some of the other answers that I've given, so this is definitely something I have struggled with. There are reasons I'm 28 years old and still do not have a bachelor's degree, and mental health plays very heavily into that. It is something I've struggled with basically my whole life, so yes, get a point for this one. Prompt number 7 is: Jane moved away from her childhood home in her 20s. Give yourself a point if you've lived away from your childhood hometown or region. I definitely get a point for this one. I grew up in Oregon and now I live in Utah, which is where my mom grew up. Prompt number 8 is: Jane was not vain. Give yourself a point if you have very little interest in vanity. I think this is a very interesting prompt and brings up some interesting things to think about. Rachel from Rachel's Reading Nook just did this tag as well, and I will have her video linked below as well because she had some very interesting things to say about this prompt. In her video, she had a quote from Pride and Prejudice, which I will try to find the quote. I don't own a copy of Pride and Prejudice, so I can't look it up right now, but basically it was about how vanity is caring what other people think of you. And if we're going off that definition of vanity, then yes, I am very vain. I care way too much about what other people think of me. And if we're talking about vanity in regards to looks, then I would not say I'm very vain. I still want to look nice, and I still want to wear nice clothing and things like that, but like, I don't wear makeup. I wear my hair basically in a braid like this every single day of my life. So I think it kind of depends on the definition of vanity. I do care, as I said, a lot about what other people think of me. I want people to think I'm a good person. I want people to like me, and I think that's a fairly universal desire to have. So I think my answer to this question depends on the definition of vanity you're going with. I am not going to give myself a point for this just because if we're going based on the definition from Pride and Prejudice, then yes, I do consider myself vain. Prompt number 9 is hair was of little concern to Austen. Give yourself a point if you cannot be bothered with your hair. I'm definitely going to give myself a point for this. As I mentioned earlier, I wear my hair in this braid basically every day because I can't be bothered to do other things with it. I also cannot leave it down because it bothers me when it's down because it gets so tangled. The texture of my hair is incredibly fine and it gets tangled incredibly easily. So I can't wear it down because it gets tangled so easily, and also because it gets caught in everything. The seatbelt is the worst. Getting my hair caught in the seatbelt hurts so bad, and it is so annoying because most of the time I can't get it out. I have to just like rip the hairs that got caught in the seatbelt out. But also with as long as my hair is, because it is pretty long, if it's down, it will get caught in my clothes, especially if there's a button on the back. And then again, most of the time I can't get my hair untangled from around it, so I just have to like cut it out, and it's just not worth it. So I wear my hair like this so I don't have to deal with having it down. Prompt number 10 is Austen expressed her distaste for hot weather. Give yourself a point if you dislike the heat. I'm going to give myself a point for this. I dislike weather. I'm the worst, okay? I fully acknowledge it. I have about a 5-degree range in which I'm comfortable. And other than that, I will complain endlessly about the heat. But I have realized recently that part of the reason I maybe dislike the heat as much as I do, and why I cannot handle heat as well as other people I know, I don't sweat very well. My sweat glands just don't produce that much sweat. So I don't cool off efficiently when I'm in warm places. And I know a lot of people don't like humidity in the heat because it makes them feel muggy. I don't get that feeling in humidity, and I actually kind of prefer the humid heat to the dry heat. I live in a very dry state right now, and when I walk outside, I feel like I'm in an oven and I just feel incredibly dry. But I think that's all related to the fact that I don't sweat. Also, this is probably way more information about me than you want to know, but here it is. You're welcome. And I am also from Oregon, which is much, much more humid, so that is what I got used to growing up, and I think that plays into it as well. Like I said though, I don't really like the heat and I don't like the cold, so I just need to move back to Oregon because that is kind of the perfect climate for me. Those are all the prompts for the Are You Like Jane Austen tag. This tag does have a rating, so I am now going to tally up my points and see if I'm like Jane Austen. So I gave myself a 6.5, which says, you and Austen are friends. You two could enjoy a long walk in the country and chat about all the things you have in common. That was the Jane Austen tag. This was a really fun tag. I liked getting the score at the end, and that's definitely a very different thing that most tags I see do not have, but was very fun. As for tagging people, I am just gonna say, if you want to do this tag, consider yourself tagged by me. I have seen a lot of people doing this. I think most people actually have already done this tag, but if you have not, you can consider yourself tagged if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!